From Liam Neeson bouncing back after his racism controversy to Kevin Hart's homophobic comments being swept under the rug, here are some celebrities that managed to survive the cancel culture, starting with Liam Neeson.
A friend gave this to me. It's Albanian. You mind translating it?
As we all know, Liam is a pretty big deal in Hollywood. He has starred in some famous thrillers and historical movies. The Taken and Schindler's List stand out as some of his greatest hits. But it was during the promotion of one of his thriller movies where he shared a story which caused an uproar among fans. Before the release of his movie Cold Pursuit, Liam was asked how he got into character for his role. The actor then mentioned an incident where a friend of his was assaulted by someone who happened to be black. Feeling enraged, the Taken star took to the streets and claimed he was prepared to hurt any black person that seemed like a threat to him. When this story was made public, it sparked severe backlash from the fans. There was even a major protest to make sure that Cold Pursuit wasn't released in theaters. In response, Neeson made several public appearances on news outlets to explain his side. The actor repeatedly tried to prove his innocence by stating that he no longer held any racist views. Despite the backlash, Neeson was able to avoid tarnishing his career and stayed mainstream. There were a good amount of leading producers who still wanted him to be the face of their movies. It seems like Liam Neeson got away with this tough situation quite easily.
And I will kill you.
Good luck.
But that hasn't been the case for every celebrity. Nick Cannon faced a lot of public scrutiny after he made insensitive comments on a podcast in 2020. What made matters even worse was the fact that his comments were aimed towards a religion. Cannon discussed some offensive conspiracy theories which targeted Jewish people. These comments spread all over social media, and fans all around the globe expressed their disappointment at the carelessness from the TV host. Although he was allowed to continue his work at The Masked Singer, Cannon was axed from his longtime producing partner Viacom CBS. This prevented him from hosting the famous Wild and Out show. As a result, Cannon had to publicly apologize for the insensitive comments he made towards Jewish people. However, this was not enough. The TV show host also had to meet rabbis and donate to a Jewish organization in order to improve his public image. His efforts bore fruit soon. 1 year later, Viacom CBS allowed Cannon to continue his work as host of Wild and Out. While Cannon got away reasonably unscathed,
camera right there, bro.
Right there? I plead the fifth.
the next celeb lost a golden opportunity after he was canceled. Kevin Hart is well known for his hilarious stand-up routines and roles in successful franchises such as Jumanji. During the past few years, Kevin has gained tons of fans around the globe. His banter with Dwayne Johnson every time they meet leaves the viewers in stitches from laughter. And to be fair, it's hard to not be his fan. I mean, at the end of the day, who doesn't want to have a good laugh? But despite the good vibes, Kevin Hart couldn't escape being canceled. The Jumanji actor was at the peak of his career when he was announced as the host for the Oscars in 2019. But the party didn't last long. Soon after this announcement, some homophobic posts he made in the past resurfaced in the media. As a result of the public pressure, Hart gave up the hosting role at the Oscars but refused to issue an apology. In the following months, he made several attempts to apologize for hurting the sentiments of the public. Through some social media posts and statements, Kevin Hart admitted his mistakes and vowed to learn from them. Despite this controversy, the comedian was able to ride the storm of criticisms. Since the resurfacing of the infamous post, the comedian has made several public appearances and starred in multiple major movies. He also presented the audience with a behind-the-scenes look on the controversy with the Netflix series Kevin Hart, Irresponsible. Yes, missing out on hosting the Oscars was a real blow, but Kevin should consider himself lucky, as the matter didn't cause any real damage to his fandom.
Rough. I do. Me and this boy got into it at Chuck E. Cheese. It wasn't a fight, it was an altercation. We got into a little altercation because my baby was in the balls. He was throwing the balls at my daughter's head. He throwing the balls.
But the same can't be said about the next celebrity on our list. Chris Brown faced a potentially career-ending situation decades ago, something that haunts him to this day and follows him wherever he goes. The R&B star was accused of physically assaulting Rihanna during their relationship. These reports sent shockwaves throughout Hollywood and stunned the fans. Chris Brown, instead of contesting this in court, pleaded guilty and was ordered to perform community service. Not many fans expected the singer to make it back to the main stage after hitting such a low point, but Brown wasn't willing to let this controversy be the end of his career. The songwriter started releasing albums again after seeking forgiveness for his behavior towards Rihanna, and it brought him on the front pages again. Amidst all the controversy, Brown managed to secure an award for Male R&B Artist at the 2022 AMAs. A large section of fans didn't agree to this and even booed the decision, but for Brown, this was the light he wanted to see at the end of the tunnel. Fellow singer Kelly Rowland stepped up in defense of Chris Brown after his award win, which showed that he still had some supporters in the industry. In the end, Brown was able to cover for most of the damage done by the dreadful controversy, but reaching the same heights he did years ago is definitely impossible now. Though Chris Brown's career being resurrected is nowhere near as impressive as the next celeb's comeback.
Successful and consistently do my music. So,
Roman numeral, got it.
Exactly.
In one of your songs, you sing, "I swear to God, I'm moving on."
Yeah.
Moving on from what?
I think in that song X, produced by Diplo, that was one of my favorite ones. When I say that in the
Cancel culture hit Mel Gibson with the most brutal force when he was faced with not one, but two serious allegations. The Mad Max actor initially made some anti-Semitic statements in public in 2006, which dented his career. But what followed had the potential to finish Gibson's career once and for all. In 2010, some recordings were made public where he was heard to be making violent and racist statements towards his partner. The backlash was so severe that Mel Gibson was unable to find work in any form in Hollywood for almost half a decade. With his age quickly catching up to him, the future didn't look very bright for the actor. But even at such a low point in his career, Gibson was able to blow one last breath into his career. He was part of the third edition of the Expendables series, which marked his return to the top tier of Hollywood. But it wasn't until 2016 that Gibson truly redeemed himself in the public eye. The famous actor took up the role of a director for the historical movie Hacksaw Ridge, which received plaudits from fans all around the globe. This award-winning movie turned a tide for Gibson, as he was now getting regular appearances at major Hollywood projects in the following years. Despite the dark and gloomy patch he faced in the aftermath of the controversy, Gibson made a comeback for the ages and regained a top spot in the industry. Well, it's a very dark and gloomy sight if you fall into a situation that these celebrities have. But this list proves to us why being canceled is not the end of the story, and it's never too late to make a comeback. That's all I have for celebs who made a comeback after being canceled.
It can all end right now.
Peace. Bliss. Just
Kim.
Thing like that in the backpack?
yeah, sure. What? Here you go. I got some bolt cutters. Does that seem like a good tool for the situation?